Remember that? Get a good whooping, you cry, and you'll lay down, you'll sleep for 16 hours. They gotta come wake you. All right, baby?
You sleep before the beat,
right.
And you sleep after.
Afterward, because you're nervous before you're getting ready to get a whooping. Let me take a nap.
That adrenaline back.
Right, man. A good whooping to give you one of the best little sleeps you had all day. Now go lay down. Now your mama can watch soap operas. Remember that? Good whooping to late man. You know, everybody need that Christmas whooping? Because you're excited about your toys, you need that little extra whooping to get you to go to sleep. Yeah, those were good things.
I kept my mouth shut on Christmas.
Nah, I had to get a whooping. You know, I've been messing with everything right before Christmas. I'm so excited, I'm bad. Go ahead, commentary.
Yeah, in other words, don't wait until the child is an adult to try to discipline them. The time is now while they're still able to be molded into an orderly individual.
Right. You can't wait till he grown trying to get him correct. Mm-hmm. You can't wait till he 5 and 6 and now he disrespecting you in the grocery store. You tell him to come over here at the mall. He telling you, now, I'm little Johnny. I do what I want. Nah, it's too late now. Now you almost got to break little Johnny back to get him back in the order. Now, I started at a young age, so he already know no disrespect. It wasn't no such thing as talking back. What's talking back? Remember, we couldn't say what? You better not say what to my mom.
Oh, yeah.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Tanya, mom, still that way. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have to teach those children proper ways. They have proper way to act even when they're out in public.
Especially when they're in public.
Especially because it look bad on them, then you're embarrassed. Now little Johnny don't want to do what you say, and now you're looking around at everybody, they feel bad for you. Because they know little Johnny gonna be a menace to society. Get him down, beat him down. I'd rather be embarrassed by beating them than be embarrassed by being talked back to. Have you ever seen a little kid in the grocery store tell their mama shut up? Oh boy, I be clutching my basket. That was my baby, boy. He'd be laying in the basket. I'd be pushing him out with the groceries. Right, you gotta teach him now. Proverbs 22 and 16, and then we're gonna go right into Proverbs 23 and 12. So just go right into the next section.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
He will not depart. When I got in trouble, I need to go to church and pray. Even though I was in the world, I've been a wild boy. I knew when things went bad, I knew my old way. I always go follow your knees to the Most High. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 12. Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge. Verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beateth him with the rod, he shall not die.
He ain't gonna die from a good whooping. He's gonna be better for it. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell.
Because you're gonna deliver him with that discipline. He ain't gonna be in the streets and get killed gang banging, and then now lose his soul to hell. He ain't gonna get killed selling drugs. He ain't gonna get killed at the nightclub. She ain't gonna get killed stripping. Or she ain't gonna get killed sitting in the car with somebody who is gang banging. Because she gonna know better. Why? Because a father's gonna put confidence in his daughter to where she ain't gonna fall for that nonsense. Or he gonna make sure that the little knuckleheads ain't gonna date his daughter, because you gonna be at the door. Hey, how you doing, young man? What's your father's name? What's your mother's name? Come in here, let me have a conversation with you. You gang bang, you sell drugs. See, that's what a father did to protect his daughter. Because a real father ain't gonna let his daughter go out with a little knucklehead little boy. I love my baby girl. That's my jewel of my eye. You ain't finna just take my daughter, you know what I'm saying, come to my house with a red shirt on with red laces, a blue shirt on with blue laces. Nah, you ain't going with him. You can go in the room and cry all you want. You can go in there with your mama, but you ain't leaving with this little knucklehead boy, and sir, don't come over here no more. This ain't the girl for you. You go date these other girls that parents don't care. But this little jewel of my eye, nah. That's how you did that. That's how you kept your daughter safe. Hold on, what's your daddy name? What's your mama name? That's how we operated. We knew each other. I think I might know your uncle name. Then you can check, hey, my mama taught me about bad and good blood. Bad bloodlines, good bloodlines. You got to, the children don't know no better. You know, she a young girl. She don't really know how to decide just as well yet. So you had to be that man, our strong mother, to make sure you don't push your daughter out in the arm of a serpent. You are your first line of protection. Did we read all of this, brother? Mm-hmm. We can now have one more, 17. Go ahead. Okay, Salaki, go ahead and come here yourself.
So many people, because they never experienced discipline as a child, grew to become the worst type of individuals. Lack of order at a young age breeds disorder when you're older.
Exactly.
Proverbs 29 and 15.
Go right into it, there.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. Verse 16, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Verse 17, correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul.
Yeah, and just skipping along, going to Leviticus 19 and 20, and just go, 19, 29, just go ahead.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter.
That's a big saying. Don't send your baby out. Find a man with a good car. Find a man with a good job. No, find a man that loves Christ. You judge a man by how he loves his God and how he loves his mama. Those are the two best ways to judge a brother. If he loves his God with respect and honor, and he honor and respect his mother and there for her when she's at need, then you're going to know that he's going to be a good man for you and your daughter, and he's going to respect your mother. Finish that off. Oh, Father also, yes, sir.
To cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
Become full of wickedness. You train your daughter. Don't go after a man that has material gain, because he's going to treat her like a material. And he's going to use her and throw her away when he's done with it. But if you can send a man, your daughter out to a good man that loves his God and love his mother and father righteously, right? At least you have something to judge or gauge what type of guy he is. But if you just throw him out there and he's a material guy and he about getting his paper and about having a car with rims and all that stuff, hey, he's just going to use her for a prop. And the next little pretty girl to come along, he's going to throw your daughter aside and grab her. That's what they do. I've been that. See, and he's going to spend more money on making himself look good so he can catch the next young sister. That's what we do. We can be honest as men. But if you are a righteous, strong sister and a strong father, you're going to make sure that your daughter is going to judge or miss those type of characters. And vice versa, brothers. Don't get with sister just want a bag from you. Or the first time y'all go out, she's trying to see what she can get out of you. You know, try this. If she like you, hey, our first date, let's be Dutch. So I don't expect nothing from you and you don't expect nothing from me. Let's pay for our own meals. See if she's going to go out with you.
Good.
Y'all know it. Y'all in the world. Dutch, what's a Dutch? You pay for yours, I pay for mine. What? Really? Y'all see the YouTube videos? They want a bag. They trying to get what they can get. They don't care what you look like no more. They think you got money, they'll date you. Because they want your what? No, date me because you see something in me that's righteous. But it's hard to find righteous young men. What is there to look at these young men that's righteous? Sisters, if y'all date a man you can see his drawers, don't date him. That's common sense. Don't date a man that his underwear is all flared out the back. If your boyfriend got SpongeBob underwear on and he in his 20s, don't do it. If you can fit your boyfriend jeans, it's time to break your relationship up. It's up to you. Because ain't no respectable man that's going to walk in front of your mother and father dressed that way. If I'm going to meet your mother, hey, I think it's where we're at the point of our relationship, I think you need to meet my father. He should come over there with a collared shirt, a nice pair of pants and shoes, and be respectable. Hi, sir, how you doing? I'm Mr. So-and-so. And he'll sit down and he'll be able to converse with your father. He won't be all, hey, what up, though? Yeah, I'm the day. I'm from 40 block. West Side Crip, cuz. Your daddy gonna be like, hey, bro, no offense, get out. No offense, get out. That's how sisters should operate. Or at least if there's no father, that mom, I want to bring home so-and-so. And if he come to your house and he don't have no honor and respect for your mother's house. What happened to the days of flour and candy? Where's chivalry? If this is not there, then hey, wait on the Lord. Wait. Hey, when the Most High wants you with somebody and you wait on the Lord, He's going to be the best gift in the world. Then you ain't going to have to repick again. Commentary, sir?
Yes, sir. There is a huge lack of order in the disciplining of our daughters, which we were supposed to protect from the evil of the world. Our women become disorderly and learn from a young age attributes of the mentality of a prostitute, like using their appearance to get ahead in life. This also translates into a life of evil. This evil goes from one generation to the next. This is also apparent within the men, as we have learned to be whoremongers, chasing whatever moves instead of looking for a woman of righteous merit.
A righteous merit. Believe me, brothers, it's better to have a righteous woman than a pretty woman. If you can't leave and leave your wife alone, and you worry and you call the house every 10, 15 minutes, hey, that's not so much on her, that's on you. You picked her. I can leave home for a month and I ain't worried about Sister Tanya, not even a little bit. Because I know ain't no fella going to be able to come and shoot Sister Tanya a line and she going to fall for it. Why? Because I know Sister Tanya mama. And I know Sister Tanya mama raised her way better than that. Ain't nobody going to be able to shoot a quick line at my wife. Get her phone number. My wife ain't finna be sneaking around calling nobody. That's inconvenient. That's out of the way. See? But if you got a girl that's only based on her looks, every time you see her, she prepping all the time. You know what I'm saying? You go somewhere with her, she won't hold your hand.
Not good.
She selfied up all the time, and she ain't got a damn picture of you in her phone. So these are things you judge by, brother. If you can't trust your wife, hey, I'm not dealing with nobody I can't trust. That's just, that's one of the worst feelings in the world. You know what I'm saying? You leave your apartment, you drive to work, you like, should I go back home and check my house again? I'm not living like that, brother. And sisters the same way. Every time your man walk out the door, my favorite comedian say, yeah, he got 2 phones. One phone he keep in the house, one phone he keep in a potato chip bag in his backyard. See? So when he go home, he got a whole nother phone she don't even know about. If you got to worry about a man like that, I got 1 phone. When I get home, I throw my phone on the bed. Throw it on the counter. Not hide nothing. Because ain't nobody out there. Ain't nothing out there, fellas, I promise you. Ain't nothing out there. Every girl out there that ain't living righteously is just trying to get out you what she can. And when she sees she got everything out of you, she jump to the next person that can give her more. If you date a girl and she don't want to come to church, hey, I'm an Israelite. I live a certain way. Won't you come to church with me? I ain't trying to do all that. Hey, sister, if you date a man, hey, this Sabbath I'm going to church. You come to church with me. Well, I'm not really into religion. That's so you ain't got no moral code. Let's go into this Testament of Judah, 23, 1, 2, 3. Quiet out whenever you're ready, sir.
This is the Testament of Judah, chapter 23, verse 1. Now I have much grief, my children, because of your lewdness and witchcrafts and idolatries, which ye shall practice against the kingdom, following them that have familiar spirits, and diviners, and demons of error. Ye shall make your daughters singing girls, and harlots, and ye shall mingle in the abominations of the Gentiles. For which things' sake the Most High shall bring upon you famine and pestilence, death and the sword, beleaguering by enemies and revelings of friends, the slaughter of children, the rape of wives, the plundering of possessions, the burning of the temple of the Most High, the laying waste of the land, the enslavement of yourselves among the Gentiles.
And we're suffering from every one of these descriptions in our communities. And on top of that, you're going to go into slavery. All that's been fulfilled. Psalms 22 and 15, go right into it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If a child is acting foolish, it is your duty to discipline them, to keep them on the right path.
It's your duty. You owe it to yourself and your child to discipline them when they get out of order. If you don't, it's going to cost you in the long run. You're going to be burying him at a young age. And no parent should have to bury a child. No parent should have to bury a child. It's a horrible thing to sit there as a man or a woman and to see your young child in the casket. As being a barber, one of the worst things I have to do is sometimes go to the mortuary and actually cut young men's hair. And one of the worst things I had to do is I knew this guy, he passed away, and I had to cut his hair. Sad thing, young man my age. And a few years later, I had to cut his son's hair in the same room, same place. It's one of the worst things I had to do. And it was fun. It's not funny, but it's so close to home because it's my youngest son's family. And it's a horrible thing that seeing your bloodline being moved off the face of the earth. As a man, I'm gone, and then now a few years later, because I wasn't there for my children, now I'm burying his 19-year-old son. That's what happens when we don't stand as men and rule out and be there for our family. So even if I do leave this earth early, I have put a way of life in my children's mind and hearts that they'll live it, that they'll have a longevity of days, even if I leave here early. It's a horrible thing to bury young men, fellas. I've been there. It's a mind-sobering thing to be left in a room with a corpse and to see certain elements of things and to know that that's just a shell and whatever that man is will never be no more. A lot of times we listen to this rap music and think that death is just a song in the game. Brothers, it's the real thing. To actually be next to a body and to let your mind, like, this could be me if I didn't live right, if the Most High didn't deliver me. It's a sobering thing, brothers and sisters, and you don't want to waste your life through sin and lose it. And then now, because I'm into the truth, you get to thinking like, where's his soul? Where's his eternal soul gonna go? And because there was no strict way of living and teaching in the household, now he's gone and his child is gone. There was no counseling there that, hey, no, young man, don't be that way, so you can have a long life of days. I'm a grandfather now. I have 5 grandchildren. And I still lecture and talk to my boys to teach them to go as a man to raise their children properly. So I don't have to bury my children. So they'll know. So when they get into a tight bind, they can say, hey, Pops, can you come help me? Yes, sir. What you need, sir? So he don't have to go out and sell drugs, or he don't have to go out and do different things to provide different ways. Because what you need, son, come to me before you go into the street and get yourself hurt or killed, or before you go out and hurt somebody yourself. That's what a man does for his father, his children. So they don't have to be, because as children, we all need help till a certain point to where we're able to fly on our own. So when you have a strong mother and father to be there, you don't have to be in the streets doing things that will cost you your life. But if you're a drunk father or a strung out mother and you have a child out there and you can't help them, then now they got to go out to do things that will cost them their lives. Where we at here?
1 Samuel.
Yes, sir. 1 Samuel 2 and 22.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 22. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 23, and he said unto them, why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Verse 24, nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make the Most High's people to transgress. Verse 25, if one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Most High, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto the voice of their father, because the Most High would slay them.
Exactly. So these children, they were operating unrighteously. So he was trying to warn his children, because if you sin against the Most High now, who's going to entreat for you? If you go to a man, you can go to a man and say, I'm sorry, my brother, let's fix this. But if you go against the Most High will take your life from you. And if you read furthermore the story, those boys died. Officer.
Yes, sir.
These two sons were incredibly wicked, and also they were known for taking more than their fair share of the sacrifices of the people. Eli, a priest of the temple, had a responsibility to discipline his children according to the law due to their rebellious ways.
Meaning he should have grabbed those two boys, took them to the elders of the city, and if they didn't change, they should have been stoned to death. But because he loved them, he just warned them verbally. Go ahead.
He did not, and the Most High decided he would handle the
So
situation.
now we're going to go and show you what the Most High, how he handled this situation. 1 Samuel 4:16. Go right here. Go ahead. Stop.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 16. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, What is there done, my son? Verse 17, and the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there have been also a great slaughter among the people, and thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of the Most High is taken. Verse 18, and it came to pass when he had made mention of the ark of the Most High, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years.
Right. And so now, because he didn't do what was right by the Most High through the law, not only was his two sons taken, but he also died. See, so when you sin against the Most High, man, if you ain't repenting and changing your ways, look now. Now his whole bloodline is moved out the way. His two sons, now him. See, so when you don't operate righteously with your children and get them in the right way, and you let the Most High come and now be the judge, it's a fearful thing to be in the hands of the living God. The Most High judges to death. Go ahead.
Verse 19, and his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of the Most High was taken, and that the father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bore herself and travailed for his pains, Salakia, for her pains came upon her. Verse 20, and about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it.
Right, so at least the Most High blessed him that one of the women have a child by her son. But she didn't regard it because she passed. See, so the Most High operates. And you do not want the Most High to operate through judgment. The Most High judges through death, brothers and sisters. All right, officer?
Yes, sir.
Not only did the sons die, but Eli and Phinehas' wife as well. Our lack of discipline with our children not only shames us, but it also can put us in a bad position with the Father, in which even death may be required. We must take things more seriously with our children, as they represent us.
Exactly. Got to take more things serious with our children. Because your children are going to be the example that goes forward. Because when you leave this earth, the only example that people have that you will even hear will be through your children. That's why you raise a child as he should go. So he'll represent you. Right? Not discipline your children is an abominable thing in the eyes of the Most High. So we're going to go into Sirach in your Apocrypha, which is Ecclesiastics. And it's going to be Sirach 31 through 13. Quiet now whenever you're ready, sir.
This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. Verse 2. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. Salakia. Verse 3. He that teacheth his son before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though, verse 4, though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he have left one behind him that is like himself.
Like unto himself. When you raise a child properly, when you leave this earth, it ain't like you go. Because a representation of you is right before you. I and my Father are one. Why? Because Christ did the will of the Father exactly the way the Father sent him to do. So Christ was the representation of the Father on earth. Go ahead.
Verse 5, while he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
He was not sorrowful. Why? Because I'm leaving back an excellent example of who I was in my own child. Go ahead.
Verse 6, he left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
Yes, sir.
Verse 7, he that marketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry.
He that maketh too much of his son, he that spoils his son too much. See, shall bind up his shall be binded up in wounds. It's going to suffer him because you spoil him too much, and then now you're going to suffer things because you're trying to make sure he have everything. You're going to work hard. You're going to make yourself sick trying to give him things that he should be able to gain on his own. So you don't want to overspoil a child because he's yours. Go ahead.
Verse 8, a horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful. Verse 9, Crocker thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness.
I mean, if you don't establish a relationship between your child, if you being a father and they being a child, always playing with him, never being serious with him, hey, it's going to cause you, going to be heaviness on your soul. It's one thing to have a relationship with your child, but you always must keep a barrier or a line between I'm your father, you're my son. I'm not one of your friends. You don't talk to me in that fashion. Some people get too close to their children and let them ride them in ways that's not appropriate in a relationship between a father and son or a mother and daughter. There should be always a level of awe or respect in between a father and a son and mother and a daughter. Yes, we can have fun together, but there's a limit to it, and you should know it ahead of time. Talking back to your father, cussing with your father, and different things like that. That's why a father should not drink with a child or smoke with a child. I thought that was horrible, no matter who did it. My mama let me drink. So you and your mama sit back and get drunk together? And then what happens when you get too comfortable and say things? That's why you see young men disrespecting their mother and father, calling them all out their names. You done got too comfortable with your child. That's just like any situation with a boss. When a boss hang with an employee too much, and then it's time to discipline that employee, then that employee now ready to fight and go over his head and different things like that, because you done moved the line of respect out the way. You're not supposed to do that with your children. There's always supposed to be a certain level of awe between the father and the son. That's my father. And I'm going to respect him, and because I'm going to respect my father that way, you're going to respect my father that way. Because I respect my mother that way, you're going to respect my mother that way. Go ahead.
Verse 10, laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Verse 11, give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies.
Right, don't excuse his bad ways. Get on him. Hey, nah, you can't operate like that, son. Nah, daughter, I need for you to be better than that. You ain't finna walk out of here with a skirt barely at your thigh. And I bend over, I can see all your personality. You ain't finna walk out of here with all that lipstick and blush in your head. Nah. You ain't finna walk out of here with skinny jeans and your underwear hanging all out with no belt on. Nah, you're not finna do that. You're not finna be walking around here drunk and disrespecting the people in the neighborhood. You're not living like that. I don't care how old you are. You're going to respect me, and you're going to walk in a way that's respectable as our family name go with you. Go ahead.
Verse 12, bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Verse 13, chastise thy son and hold him to labor.
Hold him to labor. Make him work. I was 15 and a half when I was working at KFC. My dad took me to my first interview and sat there. I got that job and I worked. And everything I wanted. My mom made good money. My dad worked for the school district. They made me buy what I wanted. I wanted my own phone line. I had to work to get my own phone line in my room. I wanted certain clothes and certain things. I had to work to get it. He gave me a car that didn't run. You'll fix it and get it working if you want a running car. And that's exactly what my mother made good money. My father made good money. They could have bought me a car. They could have fixed it for me. You're going to get out there and you're going to earn it. Because when you buy it yourself, appreciate it a lot more. You see rich kids, they'll flip a car over in a minute. Oh, my mom and dad to buy me another one. But when you got to get out there and earn that car yourself, I was out there washing that little raggedy Cutlass like it was a brand new car. Because it was mine and I had got greasy and dirty with it. So I appreciated it more. Mm-hmm. That's how you make sure. You make a child work. As soon as I was 16, my dad, you working? Are you playing sports? You're going to do one or the other.
Easy come, easy
go. Man, when I was 16, I was playing football, working at KFC, and playing drums at the church. I didn't have time to get in trouble.
So if a 16-year-old can do that, a grown man can do it.
Right. And I'm 16, so if I can do it at 16, you can do it. And I'm not bragging about it. That's what my elder Whitings was having in his house. You doing something. Ain't nobody, if I'm working, you working. Ain't nobody laying up in here. I think it's all right? I think you come to church.
Sorry.
I know you woke now.
The rest of 13.
Yes, sir.
Lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
Exactly. Because our children, we don't correct them, they act lewd and think it's okay. So we want to make sure we nip that all in the bud. All right, officer?
Society has led us to believe we are supposed to be our children's best friend, but this is false and leads to a lack of respect within the child. Too much joking with the child as a parent is a problem. Find chores for them to do to instill a good work ethic while they are still young.
Right. When I was coming up, everybody in the house had a chore. And when you turn like 5, 6, everybody had a chore. When you was the youngest, you did something simple like vacuum the floor. But everybody, we had a chart at our house, cleaned the bathroom, cleaned the living room, and cleaned the kitchen. When their parents came home, my mom and dad was not doing housework, not when 4 kids up in the house eating groceries. It's unheard of that you come home. My mom would go ballistic if she came home to a dirty house. It was unheard of for the house to be dirty when she came home. It is what it is. And she made my sisters make her bed. Y'all get in there and I come home, y'all girls had that bed made. Me and the boys, we had to have that yard cut, the garbage out, and everybody took a turn on that kitchen and that bathroom, the family bathroom. And that's what it was. And that was Monday through Monday. See, when they'll say, if you had roaches, it was embarrassing back in the days when we came up. Yeah. You had roaches, mom was like, hey, pull that refrigerator from the wall, everything. No running water nowhere, no dishes in the sink, no cups or nothing in the room. And any toys that were left in the living room went to the garbage. Period. And we had the axe to sit in the living room. Remember the plastic on the furniture?
Yeah.
Man, and you better not walk into an adult conversation without saying, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Now you can't even talk no more. Baby know more about your conversation than you. You weren't even allowed to be in a room when adults was talking. You was either walking through the living room going outside, or you was walking through the living room going back to your room. Now kids know more about what's going on in our lives than we do. Ain't no secret. What? Please. There wasn't none of that going on. When adults was talking, kids was not in the room. It was just what it was. Now, we got to go back to the old ways because that's how we survive. All right? We're going into this.
Yeah, it's a article. It's from the UK. It's about young age criminals. In the last 4 years, 5,665 crimes committed by children 8 and under. Alarmingly, crimes reached a 4-year high in 2014, which was 1,713 recorded offenses, including rape, theft, and assault, and the youngest suspect was 2 years old.
A 2-year-old suspect.
Yep. Age of criminal responsibility is 10, which means police can do nothing lawyer in James Berkeley case wants criminal responsibility age lowered. It's kind of a double-edged sword because then they take things and they criminalize them that used to be like not such a big deal. I'm not talking about rape or anything like that.
Right.
It's like they kind of go overboard with it. Our children need more of our attention because the moment we are not focused on them, the devil can come in and destroy. Many children are traumatized at a young age, even by other children, because of our often distractful lives we choose to live. This article is from the UK. Just imagine the numbers in Babylon.
Right, just imagine the numbers in Babylon. You got to be careful who you let your children play with. If your next door neighbor is a single parent home and the mama going all the time and their house is at total chaos, don't let your children play with those children. Kids get into other people's houses and they have a lot more liberty than what you allow into your house. You must keep track of your children and their friends. Because even when I was being bad, it was always at my friend's house, who only had the mother there, no father there. So we have more liberties to be a little bit worse than what we would normally be. See, when you came to my house, when I'm walking around in my house, my company came over, they sat in the living room. No one went past that guest bathroom. And then you had to ask, hey, Pops, is it okay if my homeboy come into the room? Yeah, y'all go into the room. And he stayed either in your room or he in the living room. My father didn't let my homeboys roam out through my house because I had sisters. So that wasn't going on. There was a standard there. My father didn't allow spending the night. You ain't spending the night nowhere, and they ain't spending the night over here. Now, my mom allowed a little bit more because the neighborhood I grew up in, we grew up there for 10, 15 years, so she had a little bit more liberty. But Elder White wouldn't let me spend the night nowhere. I was his baby for 11 years straight, so he was a little bit more protective over me. So all that spending the night and letting people come into our house, nah. And it definitely wasn't going to happen if he wasn't off work or something like that. And the few times he did, I think he let me do it twice. He knew the parents. Hey, let me call and talk to the mom or daddy, whoever. Hey, this is how little Greg is allowed to operate. Period. He called the parents and let them know he had to talk directly to the parents. He wasn't letting my homeboy say, oh, it's okay for Greg to come spend the night at my house. He wasn't going with that. And if you couldn't get in contact with the parents, it's not going down. That's where we need to be. There's too many weird things going on in these households around here. You know, I'm in this new generation thing is it's a little bit beyond my pay grade where I don't understand how things go about. I don't understand how people have access to 15-year-old girls and 12-year-old boys. I don't know how your teacher's alone with your 15-year-old son or vice versa. How does that happen? If you don't know where your 12-year-old daughter is, there's a problem. You should know where your 12-year-old daughter is 24 hours a day. Even more so with the boys. This is just, oh, she's somewhere. She's somewhere what? Yep. Nah. You need to know where your child is 24 hours a day. I don't care if you even at work. Call, where y'all at? Everybody got cell phones now. Who don't have a cell phone? Every little child I know got a cell phone. They're at the barbershop playing with their cell phones, getting haircuts. So I know everybody got a cell phone. If you don't know where your child is, if R. Kelly had access to your child, something wrong with you. If your child spent the night at Michael Jackson's house, something was wrong with you. Ain't nowhere in the world, hey, Deacon Greg, I need little Greg to spend the night. Hold on, listen, you a man. What man want another man's child to spend the night? Nah, bruh. Matter of fact, I'm offended that you asked me that. Yep. I barely like my kids. I want your kids. I'm like, I'm scared. Common sense. I don't want to share my video game with my own kids. What I want your son over there putting chocolate on my system for? No. Keep your kids at your house. I keep my kids at my house. We'll meet up at the park.
Sound like my dad.
Man, I barely love my kids. You feel me? I don't even know how. I'm not a house full of kid guy. I'm just not that. I don't like to
know where this guy lives.
Yeah. And it's not because you can know, but I'm just like that. I don't know. I think Brother E know how you know, right, Brother E? Yeah. I think you know, right? That's enough for me. That's enough. Y'all need something. You didn't talk to those. We'll figure it out.
I don't need nothing.
Yeah, I'm not. My dad was like that. I don't like dinner parties. I'm not that guy. Meet me at Applebee's. We can stay at Applebee's all night, talk. I'm just,
Let's get these scriptures.
Timothy 6:19, correct? Yes, sir. Go right into it. Nah, you stay at home.
The book of Timothy, chapter 6, verse 19. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come. Salaki, the rest of 19. That they may lay hold on eternal life. Verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. Verse 21, which some professing have erred concerning the faith, grace be with thee, amen.
Right, all these new sciences on how to discipline your children. Nah, it's still more to it, you gotta finish it.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, all these new sciences on how to, nah, keep that rod going. Until they come up with something better with that, let that rod swing. Keep it on their back. Let your children know a whooping is always ready to go down. Always ready to go down. A whooping is a good thing, brothers and sisters. I thank the Most High for every whooping I got. I even snuck away and got away with a couple of them. Keep that rod swinging. I don't care if you're tired. Keep that belt going. It ain't going to do nothing but make them better. Go ahead.
The first to Timothy was written from Lacedonia, which is the chiefest city of Phrygia, Pacasina.
Pay no attention to the so-called child psychologists if they're trying to tell you that a firm hand will hinder a child's creativity in life. These doctors would rather our children be out of control so they can put them on meds and make money from counseling.
Right. They will put your children on narcotics and tell you can't beat them. Oh, so you would rather put them on a narcotic drug that you long-term will give them cancer, some weird type of disease, than me just adding a little rod to them. When did that come into play? When I was coming up, man, they had paddles in the classroom. And you got paddled. So you knew better to act right. Did nobody have dyslexia and all these other different things in school with us? And if they did, they knew how to swallow it and act right in class. I see kids act better in school than they do at home. I see kids act better with babysitters than they do with their own parents. They know what they can get away with their parents. Oh yeah, I got a big crazy family. Glad they're not with this is man. Y'all want the Burks family up in here? Y'all want the Burks family run up through here in Las Vegas? Nuh-uh. Beat these children. They be all right. I got beat. You got beat. We all right. We got jobs. We ain't got no felonies. We raising our children because we came from the generation of belts. We the generation of whoopings. And we need to rebuild that standard.
No more millennials.
Yeah,
belt generation.
The belt generation. Let's bring them back. Bring back the belt. Matter of fact, we're going to take up an offering. We're just going to buy belts and give them out. Who needs a belt? Raise your hand.
I think we can run for president in that platform.
Right. Run for president. The belt generation.
Belt generation.
Back to whoopings.
I think we're going to win.
Let's make America great again and have a belt on the hat. That'll work for me. I'm voting for you. At least that's your platform. At least that's a good place to start. Where we at? Wisdom of Solomon here? Yes, sir. Let's go back to the Wisdom of Solomon here, your apocrypha. 3 and 11. Climb out when you're ready, sir.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labor is unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Verse 12. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Verse 13. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls.
Understanding that child discipline is wisdom from the Most High is important. If you disregard his knowledge, then expect your house to be full of wickedness. It is better not to have children at all than to have 10 and all of them be cancer on society. Our people have children, but because they didn't want them, or start to feel like they can't live their former lives, they don't care what the child does sometimes.
Right, and that's sad. When you decide to have that child, all those dreams and things you wanted to do when you were single and didn't have none, that's out the window. When you decide to have that responsibility to bring a life into the world, all those dreams of what you wanted to be, Beyonce is done now. That's it. You're not going to be a backup singer or a backup dancer, because if you're trying to do something 12 hours a day, and your son with Big Mama all the time, or your daughter with your auntie all the time, that's not a good thing. You got to put your dreams aside now. We all wanted to play professional football or basketball. When we had those babies, child support kicked in, fellas, and we had to do what? Get a job or whatever. You work. When you lay down and have that baby, hey, now all that stuff you wanted to do is out the window. You get no more at the club. I hate to see that. What was that? You got 2 kids, you at the club on a Wednesday night. Hold on, what? Oh, my kids at the house with my mama. Why? For what? Now, it's not all on the women. A man should be there, but you shouldn't be there at all. If the relationship went sour and he left, oh well, you still have the responsibility of raising those children. That's what happened, and it's a sad thing that it's always going to be mama, because a man can have a baby and disappear. He can move out of state. You're going to be with that child forever. So when you lay down and decide to have that child, you better make sure you're making it with the right person. Hey.
If you want to come up here and
Yeah. We finna get, hey, it's Rod Day, brother.
I got a mic for you.
Nah, I ain't got a mic. It's leather. Here you go, mama. Hey. It's time for us to get our kids back under control, brother. Because listen, if everything we believe go to happening, we're gonna be in a village together, and we're gonna have to love each other's children together. Your kids gonna be in my tent, your tent, yeah, vice versa. And we're gonna have to love and operate with these children, but they're gonna have to know discipline. And you're gonna have to get over. Can't nobody tell little Tyrone what to do. But little Tyrone gotta stay at your house all the time. Little Tyrone can't go nowhere but around your tent. My mama said, if I can't whoop him, don't bring him to my house. If I can't whoop your baby, hey, take him with you. And don't even bring him in. The first time you break something, I'm tearing him a piece. So keep him in the car, whatever. If you don't want me to touch him, keep him in the car, outside, whatever. I got 2 nephews, and my sister bear witness. My auntie will not let my 2 nephews in her house, because they steal. My sister told my wife, her own grandkids, don't give my grandkids your phone. They'll keep it, they'll steal it. Right in front of them, they just laugh, because it was true. She'll tell you, actually, we have double church. Yes. I ain't embarrassed my family. They thugs, hey. So we got to make sure, hey, it's a horrible thing, but it's reality. You got bad kids, warn me. Let me know.
It's his that's bad.
You know, let me know I got to keep my backpack on my shoulder when your little son around. So I ain't got to worry about him going through my stuff. Let me know you got a bad child. You can operate. See? But don't nobody want, nah, you know, he all right. He just going through things. You know, it's a terrible tube. Well, my dad had a terrible tube, and it was a terrible belt. It went along with terrible tubes. See? When I was coming up, I didn't know nothing about terrible tubes until people were saying it later on. Because when we was coming up, you got to whoop it. All right? Where we at in Hebrews, right?
Yeah, for commentary, right?
Okay, yeah, no.
We did it.
Yeah. Let me do commentary. I understand the job. Yeah, yes. Hebrews 12 and 5, right?
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thy chastening of the Most High, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Verse 6. For whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Verse 7. If ye endure chastising, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chastiseth not? Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Right. The Most High chastises the children he loves. Great.
The Most High puts us through punishment to put us in order. If he didn't love us, then he would have just reserved us to judgment like the rest. Chastisement can teach us to change our ways.
Chastisement teaches you to change your ways, all right? We're going to Colossians 3:18. Whenever you're ready, quiet now.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 18.
Yes.
Oh, Salakia. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in the Most High. Verse 19, husbands, love your wives, and be not bitter against them. Verse 20, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Most High. Verse 21, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Verse 20.
No, that's it.
Children must be taught to obey and submit themselves to their parents. This is a step that is not taught in today's modern society. There is no healthy fear in the house of parents. Also, it is important not to be a parent who looks to antagonize or belittle their child.
Right. You're not to put your child down saying you ain't going to be nothing or you just like your dad. All that stuff, no. Because then that child will become bitter against you. You know, we don't want to be at the point to where we're using verbal assault to try to correct our children. No. You use that rod and you told them you're going to be better. I don't care what's going on around here and I don't care what your friends do. You know, if Johnny jump off a cliff, you're going to jump off with him? No, because you ain't going to be with Johnny. See, I'm going to nip all that in the bud. All right, go ahead and give us Exodus 20 and 12.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Most High thy power giveth thee.
Now, that's a double understanding. Teach your children to honor you, because if they don't honor you, they're going to have a short life. So it's up to you to teach them to first honor you so they can understand they'll have longevity. Officer.
One reason we are still under a curse is because we often do not obey this law. If we didn't know how to honor our earthly parents, who we can see, we definitely will not honor the Father who we cannot. This is a law which must be emphasized in the next generation and after. And we're going to be in Ephesians 6 and 1.
Yeah, go right into it. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1.
Verse 1, children, obey your parents in the Most High, for this is right. Verse 2, honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. Verse 3, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. Verse 4, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Most High.
I mean, don't bring them to anger, but raise them in the statute, laws, and commandments of the Most High. So if you operate with your children as the Most High operate with you, you will be a great father or a great mother in the eyes of your children. All right, officer?
Yeah, Paul was letting us know on a higher level that the same honor and respect applies to the members in the church and those over them. This sometimes comes with chastisement as well if we do not follow in order.
Excellent. All right, Romans 5 and 13. Go ahead, quiet now.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the Most High. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Verse 3, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
Yes, sir.
Verse 4. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Verse 5, wherefore ye must need be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake.
So order doesn't just stop at our houses. It also translates into how we function with the Most High and those he sends to help us. And we have an article, Girl Shoots Father for Cell Phone. We know teenage girls are attached to their cell phones, iPods, iToys, but we never imagined that it would be this ridiculous. A 15-year-old girl who was apparently physically attached to her phone was disciplined by her father for something she had done. She was grounded and had her phone taken away, you know, as happens to many modern teenagers. What happened next, however, turned out to be very different. In a bad case of punishment gone wrong, the girl attacked her father with a hunting bow. This ain't that funny. And wounded him horribly in the torso. Showing no remorse, she didn't let him use a phone to call 911, but made him crawl and drive to the neighbor's house to use a phone. She was later arrested and charged with first-degree assault.
Right. But that didn't start there. They never chastised her. They never told her no. Because how are you bold enough to point a weapon at your mom and dad? We weren't even allowed to say what? When the last time you were able to point at your mom with your finger? See, that's all on him. I'm not even mad at her. I'm mad at him. I wish my daughter was bold enough to point something at me, talking about shooting me over a phone that I bought and paying the bill. Are you serious? Our children will become our oppressors. This is the science of time out. She would have never thought that if she had a rod on her back. That wouldn't even been an issue. But because they don't want to whoop and you want to give little Judy everything, and the first time you take something for little Judy, she go get a bow and arrow and shoot you in your stomach. And then take her cell phone and say, now you can't use it. Why you bleed? Why is she in jail? He need to be in jail. Because if she'll shoot her daddy, what do you think she'll do to one of y'all? She's a terror to the community. But it started with him. Because if she'd have had some lashes, she wouldn't even thought about it. It wouldn't even been a question in her head. Because y'all know, y'all need to meet Sister Tanya mama. If Sister Tanya mama that took her phone, you point a boy and arrow at Reed, it's not even a question. Me, Miss Burks, my mother, I'm a man. I know I have power with my mother. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't even do this to my mom. It's a level of respect because my father put the fear of my mother into me. I accidentally called my mama a lie. My daddy slapped me in the mouth. He put the fear of my mother into me. See? That's what happened when the house is together and it's right. But that's unbelievable.
Yes. So the last thing it says, a generation of no remorse, and it's only getting worse. We must teach our children better, or eventually it will come back to haunt us.